What's up, everyone? Welcome to this day in Philly Sports History for May 21st, 2025. I'm your host, Jim Montgomery. Welcome to a Wednesday edition of the podcast. Happy hump day to everyone out there. It's going to be a chilly, dreary, rainy day today. At least that's the last I had heard. And man, last day of my state testing run. So I'm anxious and excited to get back to a normal routine tomorrow. So hopefully things will start running a little bit smoother. Do want to apologize for those of you who watch on YouTube. Not sure really what happened. My camera just completely shut down. I quickly restarted it and missed a little bit of it. Probably didn't notice it if you're listening. You probably just heard me talk about it. But what happened is it cut me off during my discussion about the open house at the South Jersey Baseball Hall of Fame. That is tonight at 6:30, the William G. Rohr Center at Camden County College. That's a hard name for a college to say. Camden County College over in Cherry Hill. I've seen this display. It's an awesome thing, especially if you're in South Jersey. But South Jersey has had a ton of great baseball players come out, including Andrew Bailey, Raleigh Eastwick, Kid Gleason, Goose Gosselin, Hank Greenberg, Mike Trout, and of course, our old buddy, Walter French. Thank you to my friend Lenny Wagner for passing this along. So go check it out tonight at 6:30 at the Camden County College in Cherry Hill. Celebrate the history of South Jersey baseball. And while you're at it, if you haven't done so, and we've talked about Father's Day coming up, check out Lenny's book, Playing with the Best, One Man's Journey Through the Golden Age of Sports, the story of Walter French. Walter's amazing. If you want to learn more about Walter, go back and check some of my previous posts. Back in the beginning of April, I had a sit down with Lenny, and we talked about the life and times of Walter French. Just an amazing story. So go check that out. And then tonight, 6:30, Camden County College, the South Jersey Baseball Hall of Fame is having an open house. So go check it out. And if you see Lenny, tell him I said hello. All right. In case you missed it and were in bed early like me, or you're watching NBA last night, Phillies with another solid business-like win over the Rockies, 7-4. Jesus Luzardo was outstanding, and what a pickup this dude has been. Very under the radar, came off an injury-plagued 2024 season, and has been nothing short of spectacular. I'd go as far as saying you can make the argument he's been the Phillies' best starter this year. Went 6 innings, gave up 1 earned run, 10 strikeouts. I was reading in the paper today that apparently he was set to come out after the 5th due to his pitch count being, I think, at like 90-something, 94, and went to Caleb Kaufman and said, listen, I want to go back out. I want to help this bullpen out. Put me back out there for the 6th. Goes out, throws an 11-pitch 6th inning, and gets the job done for them. So what a teammate. What a pickup. Like I said, he's been nothing short of spectacular all season for the Phillies. And I don't think that Dave Dombrowski is getting enough credit for this move. Yes, it was a risky pick. Yes, it's paying off dividends for him. I believe I probably said my favorite line that it was a low risk, high reward. Well, we're reaping the benefits, knock on wood, so far in this season with Jesus Luzardo. Hopefully this is also the start of Bryce Harper getting ready to go on a tear. 3 for 5 last night. 2 RBI in the first inning. Schwarber hit another one, and it's almost June. So Schwarber has been outstanding, and it's almost June, which is the month that he typically heats up in throughout his career. So, man, we could be ready for an historic summer with Schwarber. And Bryce, usually when he gets hot, he stays hot for an extended period of time. Phillies have a 1.5 game lead in the NL East. Schwarber starting to heat up. Bryce starting to heat up. I don't know. Maybe we could put some distance between us and the Mutts here over the next 6 weeks or so. Taijuan Walker on the mound tonight as the Phillies look to take this series. They'll play another one tomorrow afternoon. But the Phils are 8-2 in their last 10. And truthfully, I've been saying all season they've been doing this without playing their best baseball. I think the way they're playing right now, I'm not going to go as far as saying they're playing their best baseball right now, but they're a step closer to that, and you've seen that in the last 10. And the fact now that they've caught the Mets, overtaken the Mets, I think it was like 6 games they're up on Atlanta right now. This team could be dangerous, and maybe, like I said, I went back and said this before, maybe it was the whole Eagle-fication of the season where we're living and dying by every game. But they have like the second best record in the league right now. So good win for them. And again, yes, I know it's the Rockies, but this is what they should be doing to teams like this. So the fact that they're doing it, I'll take it. And then they go out to Oakland for this weekend. But good win for the Phils. Back at it tonight. Past my bedtime, but that's okay. Let's do some quick housekeeping before we move on. Be sure to follow me on social media, Jimbo_Mont on Twitter and TikTok, on Instagram at Philly Jimbo. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Jimbo_Mont, and continue to spread the word as we try to grow this thing. I mentioned the open house, but I have to say, going a little bit off of my call sheet right now. I've been a part of the Clashing Conferences Sports Fan Network now for about a week. And I have to say, please go check them out, theclashingconferences.com. The Sports Fan Network is crazy. Have met a lot of great guys who from across the country, too. It's not just Philly fans. And it's nice to always get like that outside perspective. Been having some great conversations, some good spirited debate. If that sounds like something up your alley, again, go to clashingconferences.com. Check them out. Great group of guys. Steven has done a phenomenal job kind of revolutionizing what this whole thing is. And if you're like me, a smaller time podcaster who's looking to get some media services or any media services for that matter, go to Clashing Conferences. Steven will take care of you. If you have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to me. And then, of course, be sure to check out their podcast. They cover a variety of topics anywhere you get your podcast, as well as on YouTube. Right now, they're kind of focusing on wrestling, UFC, combat sports, as well as basketball through the NBA playoffs. New episodes usually drop Thursday and Friday, but I can't highlight and shout them out enough. It's been a great experience so far, and we're just getting started. All right. Also, with that comes the new sponsors and things like that. Check out these custom-made hype chains. And I know it's all the rage with my kids each have a Fanatic one. You see the one guy who is a staple at Eagles games with the Dallas Sucks. This dude will make your custom-made hype chain. They're great for Little League games, the pool. Swimming season is coming. Get it for whoever has the highest score, the fastest time. Bachelor parties. Fantasy football is coming right around the corner. I think I might get a couple made for my one league and have the fantasy football loser. Whatever you got to do, but go check these guys out. Lotwin.com, LOTWIN. Use the promo code CCCPOD to take 10% off of your order. But this dude does great work. He'll work with you, get whatever you need done. And like I said, high school sports, Little League. I know travel teams are starting their tournament season. Could be a good, they don't do it so much in the major leagues anymore. But remember, everybody used to either put a hat or something crazy on. You can bring that back, get the home run chain, put it on your team. That's Lotwin.com, LOTWIN. Use the promo code CCCPOD to take 10% off of your order. All right. I kind of teased this, but it's finally starting to take shape later this summer, sometime in June. I'm not sure the exact dates. I'm kind of working through the details. We are going to have our annual This Day in Philly Sports History summertime tournament. We've done things in the past like the Lovable Losers. Last year we did the Ultimate Philly Sports Nickname. This year, the greatest individual season in Philly sports history, kind of spurred on by Saquon Barkley's season last year. Got it narrowed down. I think I got to do some tweaking, work with the selection committee to the 48 greatest seasons, 12 from each of our 4 major sports teams. And then we're just going to go through the bracket like we did. Working out details as far as timing, but stay tuned for that coming at some point in June. The greatest Philadelphia sports season tournament. All right, today is D-Day for the Tush Push, and kind of reading some of the tea leaves and looking at things, looks like the Tush Push is going to get banned. And quite honestly, it's a joke, an absolute joke. And if you heard Nick Sirianni's press conference yesterday, kind of just reading body language and tone of voice and things like that, looks like they kind of know that it's not going to pass. They kind of moved away from the player safety thing because there really is no data that shows that anybody gets hurt. I don't think there's been an injury in the 3-4 years, however many years the Eagles have been running it. Nobody's gotten hurt. But they're citing pace of play. And I saw a couple different posts. I think Crossing Broad put this out. I saw a couple national people put this out, which the pace of play, spiking the ball, that's pace of play. A lot of the bringing the chain gang out, that slows down the pace of play. So even the pace of play is ridiculous. I heard some of the arguments are it's not aesthetically pleasing. Are you kidding me? It's football. It's not supposed to be pretty. Like, every now and then you get the NFL film clip with the music in the background and John Facenda talking about it. But football isn't meant to be pretty. Who cares what it looks like if your team's winning? That is such a loser mentality. And I cannot wait for the Eagles to just run straight up quarterback sneaks this year on Monday Night Football against the Packers. It's an absolute joke, but it does appear as though the Tush Push is going to get banned. So that leads me to this. Go to phillygoat.com. Get your Tush Push gear. They have a whole Tush Push collection. They have the Tecmo Bowl shirt. They have a couple other shirts. They have stuff for the ladies as well, Tush Push shorts and things like that. My daughter was debating between the It's a Philly thing and Tush Push slides. So go get the Tush Push. If this is the last time that the Tush Push is legal, go commemorate the Tush Push at Philly Goat. They have a whole Tush Push collection. Not sure if your dad would like it for Father's Day, but if your dad is like mine and used to play Tecmo Bowl with you, he'll at least appreciate the Tush Push Tecmo Bowl shirt. So go to Philly Goat, get your Tush Push collection, scroll through, get some other stuff too, but use the promo code Jim Montgomery to take 10% off your order. That's phillygoat.com. Promo code Jim Montgomery to take 10% off your order, and long live the Tush Push if this is indeed the end. All right, let's recap yesterday's question of the day. Speaking of Nick Sirianni, I asked you, is Nick Sirianni the greatest coach in Eagles history? Now, on the surface, saying that, it sounds kind of ridiculous based on some of the reactions and feedback to Nick Sirianni. But as they say in the NFL, upon further review, it's not that far-fetched as far as winning percentage, as far as making the playoffs every year, as far as being one of two to win a Super Bowl. Not out of the realm of possibility. 53% of you said he is the greatest coach in Eagles history, and it's hard to argue that. I'm not quite sure I'm ready to go there yet. I kind of put him on the same plane I put Jalen Hurts. I have Nick Sirianni solidly at number 2. Jalen Hurts is solidly as number 2 as the greatest quarterback ever. And part of that, yes, is because I have a probably unhealthy love for Donovan McNabb despite all the times he disappointed me. But I still think Donovan is number 1. I think if Jalen and the Eagles go on a deep playoff run this year, Jalen is the number 1 quarterback in Eagles history. And that same goes for Nick Sirianni. I have Andy Reid slightly ahead of him just because of how competitive those teams were. Yes, he came up short in the big games. But like I said, it's not as far-fetched as you really think. If you sit down, take a deep dive, crunch some numbers, you could make a very strong argument that Nick Sirianni is the greatest coach in Eagles history. So thank you, everyone who participated in the question of the day. We will have another one here in a couple of minutes. The other Eagles news that kind of slipped under the radar, and they haven't made the official announcement, but lots of people are reporting that they're bringing back Joe Douglas to be a senior advisor in the scouting department. Joe was a part of the Eagles, won the Super Bowl, or was a part of building that Super Bowl roster in 2017. Left to go to the Jets. Did make some good draft picks, just made some bungled, in which I think there's something in the air up in the Jets offices. Bungled the whole coaching and quarterback thing. He was fired last year, but good to have Joe Douglas back, especially with all of the other losses the Eagles have had in their front office and personnel department. Bringing Joe Douglas, who has worked with the Eagles, knows the way Howie Roseman likes to operate, and does have a good eye when it comes to scouting talent. Not so much quarterback or coach, but good to have Joe back. But today's question of the day, of course, we're going tush push. If the tush push is banned today, how big of an impact do you see this having on the Eagles? I think it's fair to say it's going to have some type of negative impact because they've run it so successfully. I don't know if it's going to be as big of an impact as we all think it is. You have a quarterback who can squat 700 pounds or whatever it is. You have the biggest and best offensive line in the league. They're still going to be able to pick up short yardage. And even though the tush push, the Eagles are by far the most successful, if you look, the trends, each year their percentage of their success rate has gone down. I mean, I think it's still almost 80% now. But I don't think it's going to have that big of an impact. But what do you think? 267-495-8531. That's the Back to the Future voice and text line. Get that. Anything else Phillies sports related off your chest? Want to talk Phillies? All fair game. You want to continue to talk Sirianni? That's fine too. But I think it's going to have an impact on the team, but I don't think it's going to be that big. And I think that's what the Green Bay Packers specifically are missing in this whole push to ban it. But we'll see. I still go back to the whole thing. You don't want us to do it, stop it. And that's the easiest way to do it. Obviously, it's easier said than done. Union back in action tonight. It is the U.S. Open Cup round of 16. They are taking on the Cinderella Story. Insert your own Caddyshack Bill Murray quote or joke, whatever right now. Cinderella Story, virtual unknown. But they are taking on the Pittsburgh River Hounds tonight down at Subaru Park in the round of 16 of the U.S. Open Cup with that big matchup against Miami and Messi looming on Saturday night. But Union look to advance in the U.S. Open Cup down at Subaru Park tonight. All right, yesterday, our trivia question. I asked you, we talked about Eric Lindros having his first career playoff and only career playoff hat trick. He had 11 his entire career with the Flyers. I asked you, who has the most career hat tricks in Flyers history? And the answer was Tim Kerr with 17. Kind of surprised me, to be honest. I was expecting a Bobby Clark or Bill Barber or even Reggie Leach to be at the top of that list. But Tim Kerr with 17 hat tricks is yesterday's trivia answer. We'll have another trivia question here at the end of the show. All right. Going to go and, as we've been doing, do a little bit of a triple header. I've been getting the feedback. You guys have spoken. I have listened. A lot of you like the actual Philly sports history portion of This Day in Philly Sports History. You speak, I listen. Here we go. All right, first, we're going to go back to 1985, and the Flyers opened up the Stanley Cup Finals with a 4-1 win over the Oilers in Game 1. The aforementioned Tim Kerr, Dave Poulin, Ilka Sinisalo, and Ron Sutter all scored for the Flyers. Defensively, they shut down the vaunted Edmonton Oilers with Messier, Wayne Gretzky. The team was stacked, absolutely stacked. And Pelle Lindbergh only let up one goal, made 25 saves. Unfortunately for the Flyers, they would go on to lose the next four. And then it was kind of, the hopes were high with Pelle Lindbergh, but he would die later that year. But on this day, Flyers opened up Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals with a 4-1 win over the Oilers. Fast forward 10 years later, and it was the Flyers winning again in the playoffs. This time, they beat the Rangers 5-4 in overtime in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. John LeClair with the hat trick today. It was his only career playoff hat trick, and John LeClair was a good playoff hockey player, even back when he was with the Canadians. Eric Desjardins also scored 2, including the game winner in overtime. Flyers would go on to sweep the Rangers in that series before losing 4-2 to the Devils in the Eastern Conference Final. So May 21st, good day for the Flyers. And then in 1996, Phillies beat the Padres at Jack Murphy Stadium. Terry Mulholland was on the mound that day and went 6 2/3 inning. Ricky Bottalico came in and saved it for his 13th save of the year. Pete Incaviglia, remember him? Hit a home run. And this team was a mess at this point. I'll get more into that in a minute. But Terry Mulholland also hit a home run, crushed it, 407 feet. And why is this important? Because Terry Mulholland was a career 111 hitter. He played a long time in the majors, only had 69 hits, one of his only 2 home runs. The first home run was the year before, and I think he hit it like 420-some feet. So when he did get a hold of it, he got a hold of it. Terry was traded later that July to the Seattle Mariners. This was Jim Fragosi's last season, kind of the end of that, the good feeling of the 93 team. We know Darren Dalton would be traded the next year. Lenny Dykstra was hurt this year. But just a brutal year for the Phils. 67 and 95 led us to the Terry Francona era. But back to Incaviglia. This team was a mess. And one of the things I like to do when I do my research for this day is I go back. I have a newspapers.com. It's a free plug there. But I'm able to go back and look at all the previous Philly sports newspapers and everything. And Pete Incaviglia was calling out the team, saying there's no leadership, nobody wants to win, this, that. And Jim Fregosi pretty much said, I agree with Pete. So the team was a mess. I just remember how brutally bad these teams were. It was just hard to watch. Like, it was almost as bad as the process era Sixers to watch these teams. But on this day, Phils did beat the Padres 5-4. Ironically enough, they were over 500 at this point in the season. So you would think like Pete Incaviglia saying something like that might have lit a spark. They kind of went the opposite direction. But Terry Mulholland and Pete Incaviglia both hit home runs on this day in 1996. That does lead us to today's trivia question. Terry Mulholland, 2 career home runs, both with the Phillies, not in the top spot of Phillies pitchers with home runs. But that is the question of the day. Who is the career leader in Phillies? Let me rephrase that. Who is the career leader in home runs for pitchers in Phillies history? Let me know. The answer may surprise you, but it was a different time when pitchers were able to bat before the DH. But what pitcher has the most career home runs in Phillies history? That is today's Philly Sports Trivia question. And then finally today, we're going to end with our Philly Sports Summertime playlist. And we're going to stick with a Phillies theme here. And this is hands down one of my favorites. This song, unfortunately, will not be on the Spotify playlist because it's not available on Spotify. But I don't know if it's available on Apple Music. But if you want to create it or just play it, and it is High Hopes by Harry Callis. The version that's going to be on the Spotify playlist is the original with Frank Sinatra. But Harry famously sang this in, I don't know whether it was the clubhouse or a party or whatever, but after the Phillies clinched the 93 NLCS, Harry Callis sang it. We had high hopes. And then, unfortunately, unfortunately, he passed away. And then after he passed away, the Phillies started playing it at Citizens Bank Park after every victory. It is one of my favorite things to do. I tried not to leave early. Like, we went to a game earlier this year, and the kids surprisingly made it through the entire game. And I made them stay and listen to High Hopes as we were walking out. But one of my favorite traditions that happens at Citizens Bank Park, that along with That Ball Is Out of Here after a home run by Harry Callis as well. Like I said, the original High Hopes was by Frank Sinatra. That is what's on the playlist, but the Harry Callis version. And I saw a lot of hate when I was kind of prepping for this. They're like, Harry Callis is not a good singer. But that's the point. He's not a good singer, but it's Harry singing High Hopes. that little old ant moving the rubber tree plant. Come on now. Cannot get pumped up and excited about that. And our bonus song of the day, my kids like this song and it's kind of grown on me. We're going to do High Hopes by Panic at the Disco. Completely different version of this, not even the same version of the song, I should say. But like I said, we're going to have something for everyone on this playlist. But Harry Callis singing High Hopes is today's Philly Sports summer playlist song of the day. The bonus is High Hopes by Panic at the Disco. And to me, nothing is better than Harry singing High Hopes. Trivia question of the day. Who is the career leader in home runs for pitchers in Philly sports history? Hit me up on the Discord channel, which is live. Go to the first link in the description, accept the invite, and come have some good Philly sports conversation. That thing is slowly starting to grow. We're having some good conversations in there. So come see what's happening in the Discord channel and give me your answer for the trivia question. Back in 1996, Phils beat the Padres 5-4. Terry Mulholland was on the mound that day, hit a homer. Pete Incaviglia added another. It's one of the few bright spots of that Phillies season. And May 21st was a good day for the Flyers. Won Game 1 of the Stanley Cup back in 1985 over the Oilers. And then Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Semis in 1995. John LeClair with the hat trick. We'll have more on the Tush Push. Is this it? Go to Philly Goat. Get your Tush Push gear because this could be the end. And sad. It's just absolutely ridiculous. It's such a weak move. Like, I hope the Eagles beat the Packers by like 50 points up in Lambeau. But we'll have the official verdict for that tomorrow. Of course, we'll update you on the Union as well as the Phillies out in Colorado. Go to the Discord channel. Let's have some good conversations today as we power through what's going to be a chilly, dreary, rainy Wednesday. This has been This Day in Philly Sports History for May 21st, 2025. My name is Jim Montgomery. Go have yourselves a Wednesday, and until next time, I'll see you when I see you.